Thus the tale starts with a blizzard in Iceland where a band of horses make their way back home. Out of the blue, an entity nears the horses, leading them to alarm and scatter. Subsequently, this being makes its way into a sheep farm, leading to one sheep gasping and collapsing, and then the being departs. There was a couple named Ingvar and Maria who lived peacefully in the mountains of Iceland. As they had no children, they often felt lonely. Besides, they both worked on looking after the sheep and growing vegetables to run their family far away from the city sounds. No one came to this remote place, and both spent their days working on the farm. One evening, Maria and Ingvar were assisting in the delivery of their pregnant sheep, where they discovered many sheep had given birth. These births delighted Maria, but Ingvar was not very interested, as the cost of maintaining so many sheep was excessive. One afternoon, following a day of labor, Maria has a conversation with Ingvar regarding some difficulties with the tractor, mentioning that it's important to fix it prior to the upcoming harvest season. Concurrently, their hound commences barking at the sheep barn, prompting them to investigate. Upon arriving, they discover the hound yelping at an expectant ewe on the verge of giving birth. Working as a team, Maria and Ingvar help the ewe through the birthing process, only to be astonished by the appearance of the lamb. Truly, the ewe had delivered an unusual hybrid, possessing the head of a sheep and a body resembling that of a human. Maria decides to bring the hybrid into their house, and they start nurturing it as though it was their own offspring, given they didn't have any. They cherish it immensely, bestowing the name Ada upon it and embracing it like a person. In addition, Ingvar fetches a cradle for the baby and positions it within their sleeping quarters so that Ada could remain near at all times. After some days, we see that Arda's real mother is calling out to her child, but Maria does not return the child to her. Later, Ingvar sees Maria holding Arda in her arms and feeding her like her own child. This moves him emotionally, and he begins to cry. However, now the arrival of the hybrid sheep had brought happiness to their lives. Hence, Ingvar is very happy. One day, when Ingvar was trying to fix the tractor, his dog attempts to indicate something in the direction of the field by gesturing. However, Ingvar fails to grasp what his dog is trying to communicate, so he disregards it. As time goes by, Arda's true mother continues to approach the house looking for her offspring, yet Maria consistently dismisses her. Meanwhile, Arda observes her from the window. On one sunlit morning, as Maria heads out to labor in the field, she requests Ingvar to look after Arda. But Ingvar goes to work in the shed and accidentally leaves the gate open. When Maria returns home, she asks Ingvar about Arda. Ingvar replies that before going out, he had put her to sleep in the bedroom. Therefore, she goes to the bedroom to check on the lamb, but the lamb isn't there, which frightens Maria and Ringa deeply, and they start searching for it all around the house. This leads to a lot of tension here. Then Ingvar calms her down and says that they will find the lamb soon. Now, both of them start searching for the lamb within their entire area, but they do not see it anywhere. So, exhausted, they start heading back home. That's when they hear the sound of a sheep. Maria follows the sound and sees that the real mother of the lamb had brought it outside. Maria quickly snatches the lamb from the sheep and starts covering it with clothes to protect it from the cold, after which they start heading home. During this, the lamb's mother starts following them, which makes Maria angry, and she tells it to go away from there. Well, after entering the house, they put the lamb to sleep and take a sigh of relief. A few months later, the lamb grows up and has now become a part of the family. Especially, the relationship between the lamb and Maria becomes very good. And they couldn't live without each other. One night, Maria had a terrifying dream about sheep, waking up with the fear that Ada's mother might take her away from Ada. To save Ada, Maria devises a plan, leaving Ingvar and Ada asleep. She steps outside the house and shoots Ada's mother, burying the sheep right there. Ingvar's brother Peter witnesses Maria doing this. Actually, Peter used to live in the city and earned money through petty crimes. But due to some reasons, his partners had left him at Ingvar's place. Anyway, Peter went to sleep in the sheep shed. When he woke up, he saw Ada, but soon she vanished, making Peter think it was all a dream. In the morning, he meets Ingvar, whom he is very happy to see after such a long time. Then he brings him inside the house and asks Maria to make breakfast. When they all sit down to eat, Ada joins them too. Here Maria introduces Ada to Peter, but Peter seems troubled upon seeing Ada and remains silent without saying anything. Later, Ada and Maria spend time bathing together while Ingvar and Peter paint the house. Peter then goes inside the house and sees Maria bathing with Ada. Well, when Ingvar enters the house, Peter asks him what exactly is going on here. To this, Ingvar simply replies that their family is very happy. At night, Maria brings Ada to Peter and asks her to say goodnight to Uncle Peter. Then, Peter once again tries to talk to Ingvar about Ada. Ingvar says that he does not want to discuss it and also tells Peter that he can stay here as long as he wants, but he will not interfere in their personal life. Here, Maria asks Ingvar, "Peter, how long are you going to stay here?" Actually, Peter used to flirt with Maria and always looked at her with dirty eyes. Hence, she was keen on Peter departing promptly. Nonetheless, Ingvar informs her that Peter is going to linger for some time, as he frequently seeks refuge here from his creditors. Come dawn, the trio are out in the fields, busy planting potatoes, and their canine companion Ada is watching over them. Yet Ada startles the other dog. But Maria dismisses him. Then Peter tells her that the person you think is human and keep in your house is just an animal. But Maria doesn't pay attention to his words and walks away. The next morning, Ingvar wakes up his brother Peter and asks for his help in cleaning a shed. While cleaning, Peter finds his old drums, which make him very happy, and he starts playing them. Hearing the sound of the drums, Ada comes there and starts enjoying the music. But Peter doesn't like this. Therefore, he starts mocking Ada. Moreover, he takes Ada outside and, calling her a sheep, forcefully starts feeding her grass. During which Ingvar arrives and sees Peter doing so. Getting angry, Ingvar starts scolding Peter and begins to take Ada away with him. To which Peter tells him that Ada is not a person but an animal. However, Ingvar, ignoring his words, walks away. The next morning, we see Peter sneak into Maria and Kay's bedroom and brings out Ada without telling them. Peter then picks up a gun from the shed and takes Ada away from home, where suddenly he points the gun at Ada. He thinks of shooting, but upon seeing Ada's innocent face, his mind changes. On the other hand, Maria wakes up and notices that Ada is not in the room. She gets anxious and starts looking for her around the house. Then she sees Ada in Peter's room, where Peter is sleeping with Ada in his lap, causing Maria to feel that Peter has accepted Ada. After that, we see Maria in the crematorium. There, she sits in front of a grave and prays. Yes, it was known that Maria and Ingvar had a daughter named Ada, but for some reason, she had passed away, leaving them quite alone. That's why they named the hybrid lamb Ada and started seeing it as their daughter. Here, Ingvar is being told stories, during which he remembers his deceased daughter and becomes very emotional. Then Maria comes to him and begins to calm him down. In fact, both of them held themselves responsible for the death of their daughter, which had created much distance between them. But since they found Ada, the distances between them had started to disappear. Besides, Peter also began to like Ada and often took her out for walks, which made Ingvar and Maria happy to see that Peter had embraced her. One day, Peter takes Ada with him to go fishing. Then he tells Ada about his and her childhood. When they're heading back home, their tractor breaks down on the way. Here, Peter starts to fix the tractor but cannot figure out what's wrong with it. Thus, he leaves it behind and goes home, carrying Ada with him. After dinner, they watch a game on TV, but their team loses, spoiling their mood. So, Maria decides to cheer everyone up by playing one of Peter's old music videos on TV, which lifts everyone's spirits, and they start dancing. They were enjoying drinks when Ada, without telling anyone, steps outside the house and sees the same creature that appeared in the sheep farm at the beginning of the story. Terrified by the sight of the creature, Ada runs towards the house and hides in the shed, where she begins to examine herself. In reality, Ada was questioning why she doesn't look like her parents, Maria and Ingvar, which now made her suspect that maybe they were not her real parents. Indeed, she was beginning to doubt that they were her actual parents. Meanwhile, Ingvar, being drunk, falls to the ground, leading Peter to carry him to the bedroom just as Ada enters the room. And as she begins to sleep with Ingvar, she is still fixated on the creature she had seen just a while ago. Meanwhile, Peter approaches Maria and starts flirting with her while touching her. Maria stops him and forbids him from making such moves again. Then Peter blackmails her, revealing that he knows she has killed Ada's real mother and threatens to tell everything to Ada if Maria does not comply. If she does not agree to his terms, I will reveal it all to Ada. Thus, Maria, out of compulsion, agrees to Peter's demands but somehow manages to lock him in a room. When Peter yells at her to open the door, Maria ignores him and leaves. The next morning, Maria goes to Peter and requests him to leave her house, which he accepts, and she takes him to the bus stop. In the meantime, Ingvar also wakes up and begins searching for his wife and brother, but when he cannot find them, he has breakfast alone with Ada and then goes to fetch the tractor with her. Here Maria drops Peter and tells him that Ada is a godsend with which they can start a new good life. Even though Mary is upset with Peter, she gives him some money and then heads home. Meanwhile, she is told how she can reach home if she forgets the way. Then they both reach near the tractor. At that point, trying to fix the inward tractor, but he is unable to correct the tractor's problem, so he starts going back home with Ada. Here at home was Maria too. Contemplating that now, she and Ingvar can live peacefully with Ada, but she does not see Ingvar and Ada anywhere in the house. Suddenly, she hears the sound of gunfire, which frightens Maria a lot, and she starts running towards the farm quickly. Here in the farm, we see that the creature has shot Ingvar in the neck and killed him. This creature is also half human and half sheep, which makes us realize that he is Ada's real father. And after seeing this, Ada had started suspecting her parents. Now the creature, grabbing Ada's hand, starts taking her along. Ada tries to free her hand from the creature to go to Ingvar, but the creature takes her away while Ada cries, looking at Ingvar. Soon, Maria arrives there, sees Ingvar dead, and begins to cry terribly. Maria had nothing left and was all alone. At the end of the story, Maria closes her eyes, losing all hope, and with that, the movie ends there.